31 minutes past the hour of 2. Your favorite talk show with your favorite ladies. Call the Dish here on Lagos Talks 91.3. It is that time for our hot topic segment for today. And I'm sure you've seen several posts about what we're going to be talking about today. Elections are around the corner this February, and this season is pretty much all about politics. Now, today's topic is, what are the 5 things that you do differently if you were the president of your country? 5 things, and please, let's make it 5, guys, because I know a lot of people, you want to do like 100. But 5 things that you would do differently if you were the president of your country. So would love to get your take on Twitter at Lagos Talks 913. Now, don't forget to use the hashtag #TheDishLagos. If not, I will not read out your tweets. Or you can call 0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913, 0809 234 5913, 01236 7913, and 01280 2913. I'd love to get your take on that. Alright, we lost that call. Okay, so ladies, let's start from in-house. Aguma, what are those 5 things that you do differently if you happen to be president Ugoma?
And I like the
Would you want to be President Ugoma or President Mrs.?
I think the Mrs. will be silent.
Yeah, it's going to be president. But you know people like titles now. They will say barrister Mrs.
Will be her Excellency Ugoma.
My first one would be to build a reputable cabinet. Those people who have, the quality, the integrity, and people who also connect with the people. So these are the 3 things that I would, within the cabinet, that's one of the things that I'll do. Now, for the education, I think, we lack maintenance culture with regards to infrastructure. So yes, we're going to invest in infrastructure, but more importantly, we have to learn how to manage these infrastructures. So these are the 2 things that I will do. Now, the curriculum as well, we need to change it because I feel like the curriculum are kind of like outdated. So I want it to be more responsive to what is really going on in society. So for example, we need to start making history very compulsory. We need to implement financial literacy. We need to also talk about consent. We need to implement sex education. So these things are very important. But I think also the education sector in Nigeria are very theoretical. So I want to make it more practical. So if we can implement, let's say, technical skills within the education system, because what we see is that people graduate from universities and then they go into the work field and they lack basic skill sets. So we want to be able to implement those things so that people can graduate and then go to technical skills, facilities to sort of like develop new skills and also develop pre-existing skills. So for the police or for the security or Nigerian police force, I think for me, I would look into embezzlement. I think that embezzlement, misappropriation of funds, has sort of like eaten deeply into the Nigerian force and sort of like rusticated the system. So I would implement an international body that conducts, let's say, for example, transparent investigation of embezzlement, misappropriation of funds, especially within the senior officials in the system. So that's one. And also we need to also prosecute, police force, like police officials, because sometimes these people, brutalize citizens, extort citizens, but yet they're not prosecuted. They have to be prosecuted. Now, another one, corruption. I would implement a very strict penalty for government official. Yes, you'll be liable to serve 5 to 6 years if you delve into corruption. Yeah, so that's what I would do. And what else? The gridlock in Lagos. I think the rail ports or the seaports, we have Niger ports, I believe. We have like different ports in different states, and yet they are laying shallow. Exactly. So we need to get that, working. And I believe that would help with the gridlock in Lagos, and not just Lagos, other states. Which one have I forgotten? probably maybe everybody should talk about
I don't know why you're not running because
I'm telling you, I'll vote for you.
Because me, I'll vote
President to go
I didn't get this far in my own thought process.
So I think that's what I would do. But there's more. There's really more.
No,
I
but
mean,
you covered almost every aspect
Yes.
in regards to what really ails us in this. I think the only thing you probably missed out was on power.
okay.
Power
Yeah.
generation,
Power. Okay,
power
so for
generation.
power, what I would do is I would, because I know that Disco is the only private sector that is controlling the power, right? If I'm not mistaken.
In terms of distribution, yes.
Distribution,
Yeah.
right? So I
Still
think
got
that we
pace,
need to
yeah.
neutralize that, that sector. We need to infiltrate that sector and bring other people. And also, I would have to force the federal government to start building power.
You are the federal government.
For me, I will be, but my cabinet as well. My cabinet as well.
I was like, yeah, that's true. She's president.
we need to build more generating plants or
Yeah.
power plants. So I think that's what I would do and much more. But these are the things that I can remember off the top of my head.
Fantastic.
Go
Ugoma 20 what?
In fact,
2023.
why is that bell? You need a bell.
2023 is not.
Yeah,
far.
Kel, where is your bell?
Okay. Ayana, please can you help me just bend down?
What?
Oh,
Kel, what did you?
I hit the bell.
you hit the bell?
Yes,
down.
because people were ringing the bell with my accent.
Faith history.
Bend
had
down and
said.
do what?
Bend down low, girl.
Everybody. Ayana said, I was like,
Faith history had said that everyone else is allowed now.
No, she
That
didn't.
she wanted to give a bit of
That's
the
on
of
the dish. On the dish, not on other shows.
She wanted to give a bit of the dish.
Sadiq is out here ringing my bell. Sports zone, guys. I don't know what Adu does at night with the bell.
Oh, I listened to Adi's
Kel.
show last night.
Kel, I can't believe
what
it.
happened?
I actually listened to Adi's show last night.
How was it?
So I understand why people keep calling it on the dish.
You're late. You're late.
I did.
Anyways, ladies, let's move on. Let's take some calls. In case you're just tuning in, it's still the dish here on Lagos Talks 91.3. We are talking about what you would do differently if you were the president of your country. What are those 5 things you do differently? If you want to tweet at us, don't forget to use the hashtag #TheDishLagos. And if you're calling, 0809-191-3913, 0809-234-5913, 01236-7913. Lagos Talks, good afternoon.
Go, President.
Good afternoon, Madam Ife.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Yes.
This is Enang. I'm calling from VI.
This is who?
Enang, so President Enang.
President Enang. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Madam Ogoma and is it Madam Chair?
All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so President Enang, let's hear from you.
Yes, what you people have said, Madam Ogoma said a lot. In addition to education, what I do think is that I will make sure that the lecturers, the teachers are well paid. Because the best that the students can do is from the teachers. So we are well paid. They will give all their best to make sure that the students are well taken care of.
Yeah.
So I think that aspect cannot be neglected. So another thing I would do is anybody that they like, people that are begging on the street, I think what they should be, sometimes they should be arrested, or they should be ordered that nobody should be begging on the streets the way they do here, because this thing can sometimes cause accidents. If you see the way those children run on the roads during this, I think they should be like if they cannot control the birds in Nigeria. Anybody that give birth to children, they should make sure they take proper care of them and don't allow them to be roaming around the street. If not, anyone that is caught should be traced to their parents and they get them arrested. So I think that should be considered as well. Okay, and also, I will make sure that these are the things that I'm looking at. The first thing that I will ask, I will make sure is that, like the case of Nigeria, there have been tribal division up and down. I'll first of all call a referendum if we want to stay together. So that if we agree to stay together, at any point, it will be signed into law that at any point, no of the
president.
Exactly.
I will no longer be president.
Yeah, that is the fourth thing that I will be. I will no longer, I don't mind. But because I will be working for the interest of the people.
Okay.
So whatever the people choose is or want.
President Enan.
One of the things. Yes.
Okay, let's hear you. Continue.
Okay. Another thing is that I will make sure that Nigeria starts investing vehicles in Nigeria. There will be vehicles will be invested in Nigeria and also.
Thank you very much, President
That was
Enan,
really nice.
for your
I think we should give
different
them a round of
things.
applause.
that you
And a
will
bell
do.
ring. Yeah.
Okay, Lagos Talks.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
This is Dan Baba.
President Dan
Baba.
Baba.
You are.
Your excellence.
Excellent.
You
Yeah.
are. Nobody.
All right, let's hear you.
If I become the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will fight on corruption peacefully. I swear, la ilaha, nobody I find capable of corruption will go unpunishable.
Amen.
Allah. But if you know, you have put up a good program, you know, that will test our knowledge. It's not all about criticizing our leader, but showing that we ourselves have what it takes to feed this country if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
First thing that I will do, you see electricity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Even if it is wizards and wizards that is behind that sector, I'll do everything possible to fix the electricity in this country. I tell you, if you fix electricity in Nigeria today,
Of the problem.
the rate of unemployment, poverty will reduce.
Yeah.
Another thing that I will do is that there is a lot of disunity in Nigeria. I'll bring back history to the school curriculum in this country.
Yeah.
That every child of Nigeria, both unborn one that is here to come, whether they are born there today, they will know everything about Nigeria. Then secondly, I will make the public office less attractive. Because the reason why you find corruption everywhere is the humongous amount of money that our politicians and the public officers earn. That is why you find they do everything. I read on the Vanguard newspaper this morning where somebody took loan to campaign for an election. Then another thing I will do, I will use technology to fight corruption. The former president started it by using BVN. Fighting corruption is not about use police, EFCC, gun, making noise in pages of newspaper. When we use real things to fight, it will be hard for anybody to steal money in this country. The last thing that I will do, I'll make pidgin English a general language in this country.
I'm not voting for you. Sorry. I'm not voting for you.
This country will drop any other language.
Why?
Mr. President, why?
Yes,
Why? Why would you do
The reason is
that?
if you go around Nigeria, you find out that anywhere you find yourself, immediately you find somebody speaking your language, you feel at home with that person. Whether the person is evil or not, you don't care. But that language that is spoke, it makes you feel like, oh, this is my own brother. Don't forget that it's a popular saying in Lagos that when you pass into office, allows anywhere, you see a car, whatever you are looking for is available for you. We use our language. You take it personally. You take it to our tribe now is ahead of a national interest. So if you have one language that unites everybody together, today in Nigeria today, even the villagers everywhere will speak pidgin, I tell you, Nigeria will be a better place for all of us. And you know, I will achieve this thing if I become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very,
Excellence.
very much for that. Okay. All right, we lost that one. Let's go on
as an
Twitter.
excellency song now.
Sorry?
Excellency, one of those one day cool songs. Something about excellency. There's a one day.
Was it One Day Cold? That's
It was One Day
Cold.
Cold. No, it was One Day Cold.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even know the song.
This is coming from KC. KC, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to read this out because I can see only hashtag the dish.
President Ify has spoken.
Yes. So I said hashtag the dish Lagos.
And borrow.
So resend it. This one is coming from Jeff Barnes saying, if I become president, I would, number one, reconstruct the rails all across the country, make moves to change or totally overhaul our legal system. I would open up the waterways and ferry system to reduce cars on the road. Total overhauling of the educational system, total overhauling of the security system.
His Excellency, President
Alright.
Jeffrey Barnes. Very suave name.
Yes. This is coming from President Enesco. I'm not really sure. Will you use this when you become president?
He has
Yes,
to
now.
no.
Erisco is
Erisco.
Enesco.
Enesco, isn't that like a nickname? Okay.
Enesco.
So, President Enesco says 5-point agenda. Number one, revamp the economy. Number two, revamp security, especially the police. Number three, revamp the educational sector. Number four, reduce cost of governance. And restore public utilities like power, water, and transportation.
Oga has spoken.
This is, Adeboyega said last week's debate was a ministerial debate, not a presidential debate. I don't understand. Adeboyega, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the 5 things you're going to do
Like
if you were the
seriously.
president of your country.
Can we banish Adewega from our country?
Okay, this is coming from Mr. Amadioku saying, Makachi Goma for president. Chideke, baby, absolutely on point. My God, nothing to add, nothing to subtract. Absolutely well said, Ify. When I'm president, I would jejely give it to Goma and become a humble vice.
Can you imagine?
This is from. I'm not gonna read this because I don't see the hashtag. Okay, you resent it with the hashtag. So, President Moko Polo on Twitter is saying, number one, corruption. If anyone is found guilty, life sentence. Number two, insecurity.
I like that,
I will
actually.
burn down all the Sambisa. Number three, education, most especially in the north. Like he will focus on education. Number four, light 24 hours. If light goes off, I will send an apology message. Number five, our roads are very bad. So I will do something about the roads. Thank you very much, President
Infrastructure,
Mokopolo.
basically.
Yes.
Nice one, Marco Polo. Sorry, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency. And this one is coming from President Free J saying, number one, I will revert to true federalism. Number two, a thorough constitutional review. Number three, 11 two-year compulsory vocational training for every secondary school student. Number four, privatization of NNPC. Number five, deregulation of the power sector.
Entire deregulation, yes.
All right, let's get back into the house of President Ayana.
Thank you very much, my loyal subjects. The citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay, what am I going to do differently? I'm definitely going to start with scrapping the quota system. Everything will be based on merit. All this, my zone, my traction, it's not going to happen again. If you don't have the juice, you're not going to be brought onto the table. So definitely this quota system definitely has to go. Like somebody highlighted, Ugoma and Akola, electricity is so important. In fact, it's so important that we forget how important, electricity is. A total deregulation of that sector is what is required. And when we're talking about total deregulation, we're talking about making everything extremely transparent, carrying the populace along. We're not doing any. My friends are registering companies a month before deregulation, and they're buying up these things or they're investing in these things. It's not going to be business as usual. Like I said, everything is going to be based on merit. Also, another thing is, I'm looking at options whereby certain communities or all communities basically can form like trading centers, so to speak, and buy up land and apportion it amongst themselves, get government storage mortgage for those people. So those loans basically are going to be long tenured loans at a very, very, very minute interest rate. And as much as they're producing, there's no reason why mangoes should be out of season and I should not be able to get mangoes. Likewise, food. So we're going to encourage people. There are going to be tax rebates regarding these guys, you know, because the truth is, at the end of the day, a lot of people are hungry in this nation right now. Some people don't even know where their meals are coming from. We're going to take all these people off the streets and ensure that even if it's a little plot you have within what the community has bought, you know, with whatever loans that are, and of course these loans are going to be monitored effectively. It's very, very key. It's not about just giving out money and turning your back, because they have to be used to implement what it is that we're trying to achieve. Nigeria has to come back to being the food basket of Africa. The pyramids, who remembers the groundnut pyramids back in the day? You know, so that's very key. Also, health is something I'm very, very particular about. You know, we're going to set up, well, we already have something in existence, basically with regards to the insurance, health insurance scheme. But we're definitely going to do a total revamp of that system. And for whatever position or whatever sector you're in, or whatever it is that you have in terms, you should be able to afford health care. There's certain medications like HIV medications, like malaria medications, that would be given. It's either they would be giving at a certain level in the general hospitals for free, or for HIV medication, because trust me, there are lots of Nigerians with HIV that their status is even unknown to them. You know, at an extremely discounted rate. We have to ease the burden on our people, and it's very, very key. And of course, it's also very important that a lot of the institutions that guide the law also have to go through a sort of regeneration. The police, the army, the armed forces, the legal system. You cannot seek redress in our courts and be satisfied for a lot of people. All that stuff, and like somebody said about corruption, I was actually going to say they should act as China does, or I would rather act as China does and actually kill people who are culpable regards to corruption. It's the bane, it's in the fabric of the society into smithereens. And right now, we need to, it's not going to end in one day, it's not going to end in 1 year. And also, we're going to sit down and revise the Constitution. It's only one term for anybody. Whether you're president, whether you're the House of Reps member, whether you're whoever you are, it's a 5-year tenure. If you can't do magic in 5 years, then you have no business coming back. So what else did I forget? I can't remember. Education. A massive chunk of our budget, I don't care what anybody says, is going towards education. I like that vocational aspect because it's always nice to learn some handicraft. Not everybody. Whatever happened to the 6334 system? I thought it had to do with those that did not have the ability or the capacity to continue in proper, you know, along the lines of, oh, I'm going to study X, Y, Z, could actually, more or less, how should I put it, toe the line of vocational training. We still need more carpenters. We still need more technicians. We still need more people who are able to fix equipment and stuff and things like that. So my people, my rainy, we go enjoy well.
Hey!
Because
I didn't say that
everything is for the citizenry to be able to be, proud of the nation, of the country they belong to. And of course, like I said, that quota system thing has to go. It's rubbish. Quote me. Thank you.
Ring the bell.
Ring the
Ring
bell!
the bell and clap for me.
I love this. I love this so much. All right, let's move on to Twitter. This is coming from Bahami saying, number 1, I will support small businesses. Number 2, bring in the concept of shame through NOA in corruption fight and strong institution. Number 3, power a priority 9. I'm not really sure what these things are, Bahami. So if you'd like to resend this,
President Bahami.
President Bahami. Sorry. This is coming from President Tony saying, he even put it by himself. He said, President Anthony Omokugo, his 5-point agenda, state of emergency in our educational sector, our power sector, and I don't think you've completed the tweet, so I'm waiting for that. This one is coming from President Snoopy.
Okay, sorry.
Saying empowered people by investing in education and social amenities, focus on agriculture, improve security, laws must be enforced, and also invest in tourism and entertainment. This is from Kolawole saying, my 5-point agenda: solve electricity problem, which will automatically shoot up the GDP through the revamping of AMEs. This number 2.
SMEs as well.
Yes. Number 2, overhaul the education sector. Number 3, make death penalty a law for corruption. And automation of the public sector. Number 4, decentralize power. All right, let's take more calls. 0809-191-3913. 0809-234-5913. By the way, we are live on Instagram at Lagos Talks 913. Lagos Talks.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
This is Ayodele.
President Ayodele.
Yes.
Welcome.
One of them, well, with the 5-point agenda, number one, anybody who's 60 years old, you can't contest them under my government.
Anybody who's done what?
60 years and above, you cannot contest.
Ìjọba rẹ̀ lè o.
Even from the government, as of recent, 60 years old, no, you're not going. Second, anybody, any person so far, must always have working education, health, insurance, everything in education. Nobody will have to medical education or in the past, they are only one. 3, our good news in some specialized for the government officials, any corrupt leader or something else is going down. 4th, we do the cancel the provision of generator staff in the country and everything that will fix the power. And number 5, have to make provision for food. There are no provision of any
All right, President Ayodele, thank you very much for that.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Yes, speaking with Val from Lagos.
President Val.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear you.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to come up with a theory. It's called the set theory.
Okay.
Okay. What I'll do basically is, first of all, I'll go for constitutional amendment to rewrite the constitution.
Okay.
Then I'm going to come out with a development or a Marshall Plan all across the geopolitical zones in the country. The first plan is power and development advancement. 2, infrastructure and technological diversification. Then open up the space in tourism, culture, entertainment and sports. It's a business that we're going to make much money from if we diversify the markets. Then 4, I'm going to come out with a master plan for education, to revamp our educational policies and all. Then health, the 5th of them all. Come out with a policy to partner with probably these NHIS schemes and all that to help boost the healthcare of the citizens. Now, for the set term thing, what I basically mean there is you come up with infrastructural development in all geopolitical zones at the same time, like coming up with metropolitan cities, industrialized cities, city for commerce and trade, all across the 6 geopolitical zones. Like as you have Lagos, a metropolitan city, for every region, you come up with a metropolitan city. In that same city, there will be provision for technological advancement and development. Then you locate 1 or 2 other states that have good minerals and all that. Then you can set up industries in such places. also developing or establishing more seaports or making the existing seaports function in the other geopolitical zones. For power is going to be deregulated. Every region will generate power for itself and then channel a particular percentage to the center. Now, for tourism, sports, culture, and entertainment, these areas are areas I'm going to merge the ministries together because they are something that youths are going to be engaged in fully. For the entertainment and the music industry, liberalize it and pump more money into the system, to the industrial bank at minimum or no cost interest rate for them to take loans and then push their various projects. Tourism go to every geopolitical zones and develop the tourist centers. We have them all over. In Bauchi, in Plateau, in Calabar, in Delta, in Rivers, in Lagos, in Sokoto, in Bon. We have them all over. Even in Niger, develop them and make them open for...
All right, President.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
we'll have
you
to
so
let you go, but thank you very much. Very well said, very well done. Okay, we have run out of time, so quickly, President Kel, we'd love to hear from you, and then I'll definitely give you my take, and then we're going to wrap this up for today.
What if I don't want to be president, though?
We don't want to
Okay, what do you want to be?
Minister.
I just want to be enjoying. Can I be the president's wife and just go and chill somewhere?
Oh, wow. She wants to go to Zaroom.
I'm just saying, because personally, you make me president, I'll tell you I'm coming and I'll go to Denmark. I'm going to rest in Denmark for a little while.
To Denmark.
And appoint my VP, Ugoma, who is overly capable.
Shame.
Okay, so I guess, I would be mirroring what almost everybody has said. Education, security, electricity, these are areas that are seriously lacking, and they're areas that, if properly managed, can boost the economy, can boost people's morals even. Something as simple as electricity. Most times I'm in the house, there's no light. When they bring the lights, I jump up to go and do things that have absolutely nothing to do with electricity because I'm just happy there's light. Yeah. It'll help small business owners. It'll help people who are just basically going to work, coming back and know how to start to figure out, I need to buy fuel for the gen. Has there been light all day? Is the food in my fridge still good? Security. People want to feel secure. You want to be able to walk out of your house and not feel like, something bad is going to happen to you. You want to be able to travel to different parts of the country without saying, if I go here now, this place is not actually really safe, or start to... Basically, it does a lot to kill the morale of the people when you have to cordon off some areas of a country because they are not as safe as they should be. And talking about security, we would also need to do a whole lot more for our security agencies. Overhaul, reforms, because there are some people who are in positions that shouldn't be there. There's some people who are in security agencies that shouldn't be working there because they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And also, equip, as we're reforming the security agencies, we equip them with the proper technology to be able to help to monitor and tackle with crime and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Education is very, very key. A lot of people are just, they're in very sad places because their educational foundation was not up to par, and it's really, 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 really sad. Lack of education shows. No matter how much you try to hide it, it actually really does show. And then talking about the economy, I would do more to make Nigeria more. So that I would do more to manufacture more stuff in Nigeria so that we don't really essentially have to keep depending on imported goods, to survive. Because when this last recession happened, it really opened my eyes to the fact that we don't manufacture or produce a lot of things that we look at as just basic things in the country. Health. Our public hospitals are a mess. It's ridiculous, so a lot needs to be done in that sector. And of course corruption, because corruption is the one thing that is one of the main things that is eating into the economy, eating into any economy, any country. And I support Ayana and the other caller who said death penalty for anybody who engages in corruption at detriment of the country.
I'll put you in my cabinet then.
I love it. Thank you so much, President Kel, for that one. We're going to wrap this up, but I have to assume my position of President Ife. All right, so I'm going to start off with this because I believe one of the most pivotal parts of a country is leadership. I really don't care what people say, but leadership is very key. First off, I will make sure that competent people are in leadership positions. Like Ayana said, everything will be done by merit, okay? There must be a track record. If you have been placed in a position and you have not been able to produce anything of competence or anything tangible, I'm so sorry, but thank you very much, goodbye. I would make sure that there will be an overhaul of, you know, several arms and several systems in the country. So leadership is very, very important. Take out the people that are not working, take out the people that are not being productive, take out the people that are being corrupt, and place competent people in there. And also break down bureaucracy, because bureaucracy is one way that a lot of these leaders or people in leadership positions have been able to siphon money. That is where corruption sips in. That is where corruption lies, in bureaucracy. You know, you'd see a governor that has like 5,000 aides, and all these people have, you know, there is a budget for all these different people. If there probably is a project for maybe education or something in the local government, it passes from this position to that position to that position, and before you know it, no accountability. A huge chunk of the budget is gone, and like I mentioned, that is where corruption lies. So bureaucracy, I will break down. So that aside, another particular important area is education. If you're able to educate people, this thing called poverty, we will not see this thing called corruption as well. And I'm saying this not because these things will not exist, but I do believe that the individuals or the citizens who used to be victims of these different things would be more enlightened to be able to handle many of these things. Okay, so education is very key. So a huge part of the budget should be assigned to education. UNESCO, I believe, suggested about 26% of the budget should go into education, but I do believe more needs to go into education. So education, and also I would make sure in the north, education for young girls as well, security for young girls, because a lot of times you see the insurgents, what their focus is maybe they don't want women to go to school, and they start kidnapping women or instilling fear in those communities in order for these women, or for these girls rather, to avoid going to school. So I would make sure that there is enough security and enough encouragement for these young girls in the north to go to school, because education is key. Another thing I'm going to do is I am going to completely take out NYSC. I do apologize. Some people might say no, some people might say yes. And reason being, the truth is, right now I see no purpose behind NYSC any longer. But what I'm going to do is that everyone that graduates from the university, there will be a budget to take them through vocational studies or vocational activities. And after, it could be 1 month, it could be 2 months. Now, after every one of those people graduates from the vocational studies or the vocational lessons or whatever it is, there would be a budget allocated to these individuals to go and start up small businesses. Because I believe that would be more effective than spending money on NYSC, and when people are done with NYSC, they're still looking for jobs. But if you're able to empower them on that level by taking them through learning vocational skills, and then afterwards you put out a budget to get them capital to start businesses, that will eradicate a lot of unemployment in the country. Now, another thing that I'm going to also focus on is to eradicate child marriage. Okay, eradicating child marriage, increasing the age of consent. Even if anyone is saying it's a religious thing, but it's going to be ingrained in the constitution that child marriage is a no-no, and there will be a death penalty for that. I do apologize if you are probably in under any religion that supports that, but there will be a death penalty for that. So say no to child marriage. And then what else? I think that's pretty much it. So I have spoken about education, leadership, NYSC, child marriage, and yeah, I think that's pretty much where what I'm going to do as president.
Excellence from the center of excellence. This is Lagos Talks 91.3.